I appreciate the opportunity to address the council. I am only representing myself as a citizen of Mason City. I have no business ties of any kind to Prestage or the city of Mason City, other than just being a citizen. The focus of my presentation concerns a debt of gratitude that I, my siblings, and my parents owe Mason City in particular, as well as the state of Iowa and the United States of America in general, for the educational and economic opportunities that were provided to us. Before I mention that, I will mention why I think the proposal, Prestage Farms plant, represents a very good opportunity for Mason City. I have faith that our City Council will perform its due diligence to ensure that all environmental, business, and social concerns are appropriately addressed. Our environment is one of our most precious resources, and I expect our council to do their utmost to ensure that Prestage Farms meets or preferably exceeds all environmental standards required of them. Access to good quality water will likely become the most important issue worldwide within this century. I challenge Prestage Farms to become an industry leader for responsible water usage in this type of endeavor, using Mason City as a site to develop cutting-edge technologies to maximize this resource. Similar, in my opinion, to what industry giant like BMW have done with their landfill gas project in South Carolina. In addition to the environment, the proposed facility may have other significant impacts on our town, including the school system. I appreciate what Councilman Lee first brought up, and I challenge our council to seek the most favorable terms possible. The way I understand things, among other things that were floated, was a 10-year 50% tax abatement for Prestage Farms, and also understood that Prestage Farms had volunteered to contribute $1.4 million over a 10-year period to the Mason City School District. I think the tax abatement, in my opinion, is too generous, and the pledge of money is too low, however. I think Mason City represents an ideal location for Prestage Farms. We're close to their resource. We're going to save them a lot of money in terms of fuel costs to ship their product for processing. So, in fact, they should be the ones paying us. Yeah, I know. But I do firmly believe in that, and I think we can negotiate more favorable terms. Also, $1.4 million, too low. They are proposing 2,000 new citizens and their families that would come. That would have an enormous impact on our schools in all senses of the word. So I challenge both Prestage Farms and our school leadership to develop a projected model for the cost of adding what could be several thousand children to the school district, and for Prestage Farms to contribute a reasonable amount of money to the schools in order to help defray these costs. Now, why am I here? Or why did I decide to step forward? Because of what I read in the Des Moines Register. My parents and my siblings owe a great deal to Mason City. When Councilwoman Solberg was recently asked why the Mason City Council reversed course on the Prestage Farms proposal, she was quoted in the Register saying, "Racism was a huge factor. There is no doubt in my mind." This letter to say, I am so disappointed in our citizens. I want to reassure Councilwoman Solberg that I am, and the rest of the council, that many, many citizens of Mason City are not racist. I am a living example of the opportunities Mason City provides to its citizenry, and I have dedicated my professional and personal life to serve its citizens. I happen to be born in Guatemala and immigrated to the United States when I was very young. English is my second language. I spent the majority of my childhood in Mason City, graduating from Newman High School in 1984. I became a naturalized U.S. citizen a year later in 1985. I obtained my undergraduate degrees from the University of Northern Iowa and my graduate degrees from the University of Iowa College of Medicine. I obtained my plastic surgery training in Wisconsin, and upon graduation I had multiple opportunities to settle in either coast. But I chose Mason City. My family and I have lived in Mason City for the past 11 years, and I have served our community in caring for many patients with a variety of ailments, including those with hand injuries. Over the course of time, I've had the privilege of caring for many workers from companies like Central Valley Farms and Prestage Foods and Clarion. I mention these folks specifically because the majority of them are Hispanic, like me. I have come to know many of them quite well, and based on my experience can say that the vast majority of them are hardworking, honest, fine people. One of my greatest concerns is the population decline in Mason City has suffered over the past several decades. We need to grow if we're going to survive. And if Prestage Farms were to employ Hispanic people in its proposed Mason City facility, I can confidently say that the vast majority of them will be upstanding citizens. I'm a firm believer that what defines us is not the color of our skin or our language of birth or place of birth for that matter. I thank the council for your attention.
Thank you.